Hello, first graders. So the day has finally arrived that many of you have been waiting for all year. Today, we're going to start to learn how to tell time on an analog clock. So fun. So, we talked about it, I think last week it was, with our vocabulary words, that this type of clock is called an analog clock. That it has two hands and the numbers from 1 to 12 all the way around it. We also learned that these two hands have different names. One is the minute hand and one is the hour hand. Do you remember which one it was? The small hand is the hour hand and the big hand is the minute hand. I said a trick that you can use to remember that is the word hour is shorter than the word minute. So the hour hand is the small hand and the minute hand is the big hand. The minute hand goes all the way around the clock one time. And as that happens, the hour clock moves from one number to the next. So I'm going to do it again. As I take the minute hand all the way around, the hour hand is just going to go from the 5 to the 6. There we go. Whoops. So there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Each of these little gears on the clock shows 1 minute, and there are 60 of them to get all the way around the clock. All the way around the clock for the minute hand is 1 hour, which is why the hour hand just moves one space. If I go around again, it's just going to move to the 7, from the 6 to the 7. 60 minutes, 1 hour, it went from the 6 to the 7. So today we're going to learn how to tell time on an analog clock. So when the big hand points to the 12, it is right on the hour. So that means it's exactly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, but it's exactly on the hour when the minute hand is on the 12. You can tell the hour by looking at, obviously, the hour hand. So the clock right now is showing exactly 7 o'clock. Because the minute hand is on the 12 and the little hour hand is on the 7. So we have exactly 7 o'clock. I'm going to make it a different time. Now the clock shows 10 o'clock. The hour hand is exactly on the 12. The minute hand is exactly on the 12. The hour hand is pointing to the 10. So that means it is 10 o'clock, exactly. What time does this clock show? Now the clock shows exactly 8 o'clock. The minute hand's right on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 8. Now what time does the clock show? Now the clock shows 4 o'clock. The minute hand is exactly on the 12, and the hour hand is exactly on the 4. Think about this question. If it's 4 o'clock exactly, what time would it be in 1 hour? So if I move this minute hand all the way around the clock one time, in 1 more hour, what time would it be? It would be 5 o'clock. If I had a dance class that started at 5 and it lasted an hour, what time would my dance class be over? So what's 1 hour from 5 o'clock? It would be 6 o'clock. 1 more trip around the clock. Here's a hard one. What time will it be in 2 hours? If it is 6 o'clock, what time would it be in 2 hours? 2 trips around the clock for the minute hand. 1 trip, 1 hour, 2 hours. It would be 8 o'clock. 6, 7, 8. If it was 8 o'clock, what time would it be in 2 hours? It would be 10 o'clock. 1 hour, 2 hours. Here's a hard question. If it's 10 o'clock, what time was it 1 hour ago? So going back 1 hour. Then it would be 9 o'clock. All right. Hopefully you still have this clock that we cut out a while ago and the 2 hands that go with it. So if you don't have that handy, hit pause and go grab it. If you're back, you must have your clock all set up. So you have 2 hands as well for your analog clock. Which hand is the blue hand? The blue hand is the minute hand. So what hand is the red one? This is the hour hand. Let's practice making some times on the clock so you can follow along with me. Let's start by making 2 o'clock. So if it's exactly o'clock, the minute hand should be pointing to the 12. And the hour hand should be pointing to the hour. So if it's 2 o'clock, it should be pointing to 2. So 2 o'clock should look like this. See if you can make it 5 o'clock on your clock. If it's 5 o'clock, the minute hand should be pointing to the 12. And the hour hand should be pointing to the 5. So your clock should look like this. 5 o'clock. See if you can make 9 o'clock. Minute hand still pointing to the 12. Hour hand pointing to the 9. 9 o'clock. Here's a tricky one. See if you can make 12 o'clock. If it's 12 o'clock, the minute hand's pointing to the 12, and so is the hour hand. They can go together. That's 12 o'clock. If it was 12 o'clock, what time would it be in 1 hour? It would be 1 o'clock. If it was 1 o'clock, what time would it be in 2 hours? It would be 3 o'clock. If it was 3 o'clock, what time was it an hour ago? If we go back 1 hour, it would be, 2 o'clock. Nice work. Next, you're going to need your math book and a pencil. We're going to start today on page 590. So hit pause until you're on page 590. I'm going to do these 4 down here. We're going to write the time that is shown on the clock. So the minute hand's right on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 9. So that must be 9 o'clock. Take a minute and do these 3. And then we'll go over those. You can hit pause if you're not done. This clock is showing 2 o'clock because the hour hand's on the 2. This clock is showing 11 o'clock because the hour hand's on the 11. This is a bit of a tricky one. Straight up there. The minute hand's on the 12, but the hour hand is on the 6. So that clock shows 6 o'clock. I bet you did well with that one. So we're going to work on the back of this page first. So it's page 592. Number 13 says, Ava gets home at 3 o'clock. Evan gets home 1 hour later. What time does Evan get home? Ava gets home at 3. Evan gets home an hour after that. So you're going to write the time here. And then draw the hands on the clock. Make sure your minute hand is longer than your hour hand. Number 14 says, Roger begins reading books at 6 o'clock. He reads for 2 hours. What time does he stop? Roger sounds like me. So he started at 6 and read for 2 hours. What time did he stop? Write the time here and draw the hands on the clock. Number 15 says, Antonio tried to set the hands on his clock for 9 o'clock. And that's what he did. Tell why Antonio is wrong and make it right. What did he do wrong here? This is not 9 o'clock. How did he make his mistake here? Then when you're done with that, I want you to flip it over, and you can do this side all on your own. Write the time that each of those clocks show. Great job with your math today. If this is tricky, don't worry about it. It's our first day with time. We'll work on time again tomorrow. See you then. Bye.